Howdy folks, this morning's shave is brought to you by Yulay, Live and Let Shave. It comes in a container, contains about 4 ounces of goodness there. It is a very soft soap, very soft. And the scent profile on this one here is orange, blackberry, peppercorn, and bay rum. Very nice scent. Good stuff here. Got the Island Block, no rubber band, and I have unscented witch hazel that's mentholated. Got the matching aftershave, and with Yulay's aftershaves you do want to shake them up before you use them. And also have, off camera I'll be using the Shaven Sailor beard oil. And it is getting somewhat lower, almost down to the halfway point with this one. And I've got it whipped up here. I've been using this Yulay bowl for a while. You can kind of see right here what I would refer to as a honeycomb type or waffle type ridges there, which is what's on the inside. Might be kind of hard to see with all the lather in there. Been working with it. Oh, got it whipped up with it. This is Omega S brush. This will be similar to a natural bristle boar. I think the model number is 10048 or 49, I can't remember. Anyway, it's a lot like that. But anyway, I've been using this trying to determine whether I really feel like that this design on the inside, does it help with lathering quicker or anything of the sort, and as opposed to, let's just say, just a smooth bottom bowl. And I hadn't really been able to determine one way or the other, and I think the reason being is that what I really noticed that stands out more than anything else is the fact that that honeycomb style in there, or the waffle style if you will, has a strong tendency to hold soap in there. And since it'll hold the soap in there, for some people that might be a deciding factor. And I'm thinking it might be a good thing. For instance, if you're just a daily shaver, use the same soap or maybe just a handful of soaps or whatever, and having your bowl hold some soap in there from shave to shave may not be such a bad thing, because I don't think you'll need quite as much soap after the first initial use, after you press it down all the way in the bowl on the bottom and on the sides. And then after that, I've noticed that it doesn't seem to need as much soap in the bowl in order to create a nice lather. Now, where that might come into being an issue is if you are really concerned about your scents mingling or something along those lines. And if you don't like that, then this definitely will not be the bowl for you. But for me, I'm thinking that's more of its strong point as opposed to lathering up real quick. I don't feel, it doesn't seem like it lathers any quicker to me, but just the fact that it holds the soap in there afterwards, even if you rinse it out, you wipe off the loose lather there, and the soap that stays down in there, it holds it in there pretty well. And kind of thinking that's going to be a good thing for a number of folks. As goes, does the different soaps in there affect the scent? Not to me. Yeah. At least not with my nose. I don't pick it up. I still, matter of fact, I pick up the same scent. In other words, off the brush as I do in the bowl, in the tub, sorry. The tub's over here, the bowl's over here. I have a routine, in other words. Works well for me having a routine. It's probably one of the reasons why I got hooked onto Nick Shaves, because he has his routine, and it seemed like to a degree shaving is a routine, and once you find out what routine works best for you, your shave goes better. I can smell it. What do I smell? I think I'm smelling the peppercorn and a touch of the bay rum. Blackberry and orange, I'm not, my nose doesn't pick it up. Somebody else probably will. but this is a nice scent. And if you notice by the sticker on the front, yeah, this is a spin-off of a James Bond movie. I like James Bond movies, they're fun to watch. At least for me they are. The stuff they come up with. Anyway, shaving with the Vanta Shavette. If this is the first one you've seen, this is what it looks like. It takes a full DE as well as a half blade, and that's what it looks like through the center. And you kind of see it's got two posts right there to help with preventing any flex in the scales. And the blades I'm using today is a pre-cut one. It's a Derby blade, Derby Professional. That's the box that it came in. And just using a half blade today because this will be the last shave with the Shavette this week, and then tomorrow will be a single edge, and then Sunday will be a DE, and of course today is Friday. I mentioned this in yesterday's shave, and if you missed it, I'll mention it again. I do start a little different with a Shavette versus a DE. I start from the facial hair and work towards the ear, and with a DE or even a single edge, I start from the ear, work towards the facial hair or the nose. So it just works better for me that way. Derby blades work better to some shavers than others. That's the reason why I keep them around. Because in other shavers they perform quite well, and there is just a little bit of a difference in between the Lord Extra, which is Teflon coated, and these are it says platinum on the front there, so feels just fine in this shaver. So you can kind of understand what I'm saying. Some blades seem to work differently in other shavers. In other words, I like some better than others, depending on what shaver I'm using, and Derby blades work fine with this shaver. This shaver to me is a lot of fun to use because it's you still have to focus and pay attention to what you're doing, but it's not quite as intense. Definitely not like shaving with a Feather Artist Club. Is still for me easy to find the angle, but to me you have to pay even more attention to the amount of pressure you're using. Yeah. This one here is not saying that you don't have to, but there's seems to be more of a margin for error with this shaver. In other words, you could be a little bit off and still fare okay. I had a bump right there. Noticed it yesterday, partway through the day, that something was coming up right there. Looks like I took care of it. Didn't even notice it though when I was shaving though. It just took the top right off. Oh, I should mention also, this one here is, this soap has tallow and lanolin in it. And you'll notice with Yulay, if you look at the website and you scroll down on the soaps will vary in what they may have. Some will be vegan, some of them will have emu oil, and in other words, you just She's got a fair selection of different bases, if you will. Holds a lot of lather. Not a lot of lather. There's not a lot left in the bowl. That's because it's in the knot itself. It's still trying to bleed there. Could be interesting when it comes time for the alum block, huh? Sometimes with the against grain pass, I can tell how close I'm getting by listening for the feedback. Sometimes that's, you know, when you see me buffing over the same spot, that's what I'm doing. I'm listening for the feedback. See how close I'm getting. It's supposed to be raining all day today. It's got light rain right now. I see light rain. It's more like a mist. It was raining earlier, just a little bit, but in other words, not buckets. Kind of get the impression that all day it's going to be kind of a drizzly, you know, dreary day. In other words, a sleepy day. It's pretty good. I have to shave. This is such a joy to shave with. It's easy to get real deep in thought on your technique with a shaver like this. The post-shave with Yulay has been pretty good too. I have tried several of her different soaps, and I haven't found one that I can say that the post-shave didn't feel up to par. And so if you haven't tried one of hers, might want to pay particular attention to what the base is. I mentioned it before, especially if you're starting out with a Shavette or even a straight razor, and if you got some places where you're not comfortable doing that kind of pass or stroke, in other words across the grain, just pick up your favorite shaver and finish up your shave with it until you get comfortable with it. Or you'd be like me, I don't worry about it. There's a little bit left right through here, but it's just a little bit. I can feel it, and when I'm shaving I don't notice it, so by the end of the day it's not any more noticeable than the rest of my face, so I don't worry myself about it. That sociably acceptable shave. That's a mouthful for me to say. I have to be very careful when I say it. Comes out all wrong. Alum block. This is the only alum block I've used, and that rubber band was on there. You can tell there's part of it still stuck on there. I've had it for quite a while, and if I remember right, they're not real expensive. I think Douglas sells his for with the case, which is, I think he's changed the label. I think around $4.50. That's pretty inexpensive considering how long I've had this one. You pay $4.50 for something like this and it'll last you over a year. I think you get your money's worth out of it. Now for me, I can't use just the alum. If I use just the alum, my face feels like it gets dried out. That's the reason why I follow up with the witch hazel. I can't use just the alum. It just doesn't work well for me. Now other folks, in other words, if it does, I can rinse it off right now with water and it still, my face does not feel right. Doesn't feel moisturized, it feels dried out. It doesn't feel well. And this help does the trick. And I leave mine alum on because, like I say, I don't notice whether I rinse it off or I don't rinse it off. My face still feels the same either way. But this is what makes the difference, is the witch hazel. As it goes for what kind of witch hazel you use, let's find the one that works best for you. The only thing that I've noticed about this witch hazel, and it's because it's mentholated, that's the only thing, biggest difference I notice in between this and not mentholated and your basic run-of-the-mill witch hazel that you can find in your department store, no name brand. My dad swears by it. This is trial and error for you, in other words. And I would start with the cheap stuff first, and then maybe one day you spring for a name brand, whether it's Humphreys, Thayer's, take your pick. Now, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. In other words, Thayer's with aloe will feel different than, witch hazel doesn't have aloe. So make sure you're, kind of comparing apples to apples. That's the reason why this one here, mentholated, definitely feels different than anything else I've ever tried, of course. And I really like the menthol in this one. Especially if you've got a rough shave or got a lot of weepers or whatever the case might be. The menthol, the cooling effect that it has on the face, basically it'll calm it down and your face won't feel quite so bad. Make you feel better about your shave too. But the way I kind of look at it is I try to strive for a smooth, comfortable shave, and whether it's not going to be BBS, I don't work towards that most of the time. On a rare occasion, I'll go ahead and I'll try just to be trying just a little bit. But I've learned, I've shaved, I guess you might say, enough to know when to stop before I get some irritation. And it's usually on my neck. Once again, her aftershaves do not have alcohol, and they're pretty inexpensive in the grand scheme of things. Looking at getting, let's see, yep, this one here too. In other words, that hasn't changed from bottle to bottle. You get 4 ounces of aftershave for about $10. Pick your scent, and if you're looking at the line of the Hercules and Aquarius, depending on what scent you pick, chances are, in other words, you can get one like Hercules in this scent, and your aftershave bottle will look like this. In other words, if you're kind of particular about your labels, for instance, and some other scents you'll have more or less I guess you might say a monochrome, almost a black and white type label. And I have one that I'll be shaving with tomorrow, and as cappuccino butter rum. That scent is just awesome. I love that scent. It is really nice. I like butter rum. At any rate, once again, I'll show you what this blade looks like if you have not seen one of these. It just slides off like this, and it's just something I find humorous. Not to pick too much, but the spelling here, professional, I thought was pretty cool. They changed it up just a little bit, but that's how it fits in there. It's pretty simple. It does kind of more or less just has a slight little snap when you put it right there next to these 2 posts, and even though they are not up very high, they do serve the purpose quite well. When I first saw that, I was looking at they're rounded, and I was thinking they're not very tall, and I was thinking it would not fit down in there very well. But to be quite honest with you, you'll be surprised at how well it fits in there. It's just enough just to keep everything nice and snug in there. This one's got soap all over it, but it fits in there pretty nice. It is difficult to show on camera like this, but there it is. Even with soap on it, it's pretty easy to snap down in there. I really enjoy this shaver. Kind of thinking the Focus Evolution will be what I'll shave with next, because it'll be another one that has a notch out, if you will, covers the toe and heel. But it's a totally different design than this one here. My battery's going low. I gotta get a new camera. Anyway, I had a great shave. My face feels pretty good. Right there. It's flat now, so maybe it'll stay flat. And this is pretty common for me after, especially a Shavette shave, to get red right in here. And it could be later on today, it'll go away, it'll come back. It's just I guess you might say, the way I'm made. Had a great shave. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.